Time for Mr. Truck, reviewing the latest innovations for your truck and trailer.
Mr. Truck here with a new segment. This is a whole new edition we're trying out here with a new staff member we have. We're really happy to introduce Dan Atkinson. He's an over-the-road trucker. You might remember him with Andre. He interviewed him on TFL Truck with his glider semi-truck, his Freightliner Cascadia. That's a new body on an older engine and transmission. And it's very interesting what Dan sees going across the road. See, we're going to see his adventures, the dangers, the things he runs into, and what it's like being in a big rig all the time. And hopefully I'll take some rides with them and we'll do some video. I've got a CDL too, but I only did local trucking. And when I go cross country, it's usually a pickup truck and a trailer. But Dan's going to show us what this is like from way up in the air on an 18-wheeler. So hopefully you'll enjoy this series. Dan's got to talk about tires this time.
Hello, my name is Daniel, and I am the latest addition to Mr. Truck TV. I've been an over-the-road truck driver for several years, and I'm looking forward to the new content I can bring to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about tires.
Be sure to add your comments below on what segment you'd like to see from an over-the-road trucker driving down the road with this big rig. It's over 80 feet long, and it's going to be interesting. I'm going to enjoy some rides with them, and then he's also going to review some pickup trucks and some other things that we're going to come up with going down the road. He's going to be with me in Kelsey here in a couple weeks, and Kelsey and I will show him what we do in the mountains, reviewing trucks. Mr. Truck here with the latest and greatest in trailer accessory review. This time it's shocker hitch. They've got an airbag cushion for your gooseneck, an airbag cushion for your bumper pole. Isolates the truck from the trailer. Great products. You know, the truck and trailer almost joined together. That ball's pretty solid, so you get to feel each other. But you want to isolate that. You don't really want to drive in the truck and film what the trailer's feeling. Your horses probably don't want to feel what your truck's doing. This way they're separate. And it makes them ride better, makes it quieter, makes a better cushion between the two. And you know, you're talking about living quarters and all those things that go on the front of a horse trailer, you know, with the glued in cabinets and the mirrors and all.
There's a lot of things that you can do to extend the life of your tires. There's things like tire pressure monitoring systems that also monitor your actual tire temperature and your tire pressure. Those are absolutely fantastic. They can actually save your bacon. And I can tell you that for an absolute fact because it happened to me. Had a steer tire that caught a nail in it. Really not awesome because you lose a steer, you lose the directional stability of your vehicle, and they'll actually pull in the direction that the tire went down in. That's really not awesome. I'm sure everyone watching this already can kind of get an idea how bad that would be. However, the system that I used was able to catch the pressure, and I was lucky enough to be close by to a shop. I was traveling down the road. All of a sudden, the low pressure alarm started going off. I could actually see the pressure was about 140, and it dropped, and it kept dropping to the point to where by the time I actually got to the shop, it dropped down to about 90 pounds of pressure. When I got there, I actually was able to get in, managed to not destroy the rim, managed to actually save the tire because it never got low enough to actually come off the bead. It never got low enough to be considered a flat. DOT regulations consider anything 80 pounds or below a flat tire. So there's no flat damage, which was really, really great. At the end of the day, I was able to put a spare tire on, repaired that tire, was able to use it in a trailer position, and I was able to boogie on down the road without too much downtime, which is a real big plus. Things that you can do to extend the life of your tire is you can, on a steer axle on a semi-truck, you can get a tire that's actually rated for more than what you can carry. For example, on my semi-tractor, you can actually have, I've got a 12,000 pound rated axle. A standard load range G tire will handle 6175 times 2 is 12,350 pounds. And I went to a H load rated tire. Now, I'm not exactly 100% sure what the load rating on that tire is off the top of my head, but it's over 7,000 pounds of tire. Reason why that can be important is if you have a wheel, a rim, that is able to hold 130 pounds cold pressure, you go to that higher rated steer tire, which instead of being 110 pound rated, it's 120 pound rated. But you don't run 120 pounds in it, you run more like 125, 130 pounds cold pressure. It will get up to about 140 or so pounds traveling down the road. Nothing bad's going to happen to the rim. It is set up to handle those kinds of pressures. It's 130 pounds cold is its maximum rating. When you do that, the tire is actually not actually working very hard. It's able to actually stay up, stay overinflated, and you get a very, very long life out of those tires. And the wear is actually pretty good and awesome. Eventually, you will start to get wear in the tire. And that's actually the reward that you get for having tires that last such a long time. On the steer, you tend to get stuff like river wear. And you can see kind of in the tread where it goes down, you can actually see that just a little bit of extra wear, and there's nothing that you can do about that. That's just kind of the way the tire wears after hundreds of thousands of miles. On your drive axle, there's also wear that you'll see as a result of getting a high mileage out of your tires. There's nothing wrong with your tires, just kind of what happens. It's hundreds of thousands of miles of axle flex caused by, in the case of the Freightliner, I've got a 9.5 millimeter axle, the thickness on the axle housing, and on those housings they tend to flex. When you have a high amount of weight on the drive axles and you're going around a tight turn, they'll flex a little bit. They'll actually, you'll see the top of the tire go in and the bottom of the tire go out, or vice versa, depending upon the way you're turning. When you're light, everything will just kind of scrub and nothing will really kind of twist or bend or get into a bind. When this happens, what you can do to hopefully negate this wear is to rotate your tires in an X pattern. I can't guarantee you that when you rotate in an X pattern it's going to take out all of the wear, but it will negate most of it and get you a longer life out of your tires. In the case of my tractor, I've got some wear from putting too much power to the ground. So what I'll do is I'll rotate the tires in an X pattern, and it'll take a little bit more tread off the tires than had I just left them on there, but ultimately I will get a longer life out of the set of tires, and it'll make things wear nice, even and true, and cut down on vibrations. Now, earlier I talked about Centromatic balancers for the steer axles. They make them for the drive axles, but something else that they make for the drives is something you can place inside the tire. And one of the more popular ones are the counteract balancing beads. These go inside the tire in the little glass beads, and because the rubber and the glass, they create some static electricity, the beads actually stick to the inside of the tire and tend to find themselves to the natural imbalances of the tire, therefore balancing the whole assembly. If you have a wide base single, or more commonly called a super single, these are definitely a bit more effective than the Centromatic balancers. And on a set of duals, considering a tire doesn't necessarily wear exactly the same as the one right next to it, it would probably be better for overall wear to actually have the balancing beads in there. Unfortunately, if something happens with the tire, if you get a cut in the tire or anything else like that, then you gotta buy another one of those little bags, but I think they're pretty inexpensive compared to the actual Centromatic balancer. Those you just buy the ones, you slap it on in between the tires, and they're good to go. Whereas the beads, anytime you break the bead on that tire, putting some new beads in there, a little inconvenient, but overall you get a more individualized balance. And basically you get a lot longer life. They're very, very, very well worth the money for just the tire wear alone. I think for now that should about do it on this video. I'm going to go ahead and wrap her on up. As always, please like, share, subscribe. That's how this channel stays afloat, stays running and gunning. And we appreciate every one of y'all that do it. Have a great day, be safe, and keep the shiny side up. Bye-bye.